So what are the impacts that the outcome of the elections have on our real estate portfolio? And I want to take it a little 30,000 feet high and come back to real estate. So throughout the various podcasts that I've listened to, throughout the various financial advisors that I've listened to, everybody tends to agree that there will be a time of inflation. Some people even call it hyperinflation. I personally think that's a little too far of a stretch. But do I think that there will be an inflation? I agree with that. And what will cause the inflation? For example, it might take a little while, like it did during Trump's first presidency, when he was president the first time. But tariffs are not a good thing for if you don't want to have an inflation. Tariffs normally can lead to an inflationary period because things that you're trying to import become more expensive. And if you cannot have the same thing that you're looking to get, then you're going to pay more for that same amount. Also, the best way to deal with the national debt is inflation. If inflation rises, the value of our country or the value of what the US government gives us as a security, the value of that goes higher. That means we can borrow more, we can spend more. And as we know from Trump's first period that he was president, he was one. Biden has now topped him, but Trump had one of the highest expenses during a president period. Biden, of course, went over that. So what is that? What does that all mean? That means during inflation or during any type of inflation, it is really good to park your money in assets, in hard assets, right? Now, the other thing that I truly believe, and I believe it so much that I have sold it all, but it was very surprising to me that Trump, when he was running this time for president, that he was saying that he wouldn't do anything with the crypto, with Bitcoin. That was a surprise to me because during his first term, he was very against Bitcoin and he had nothing for the crypto investors, right? Like he didn't believe in that. He was trying to steer away from that. Trump is more your guy for rural energy, for oil, and mining. That is more Trump's background. So what I did, and it might have been a little too early, but last week I sold crypto. It was at the high, of course. Today, crypto is already trying to top that high from last week. But I have sold all my crypto, meaning I don't believe that Trump is going to hold his promise on crypto. There's several other financial people that don't believe Trump is going to hold his promise on crypto because he's in office. He's not going to run again, so he's not trying to do any favors with anybody. Crypto, I sold all my crypto, and that's the door. Do with it what you want to do. Again, this is just my opinion. As far as what I believe is what is going to happen. Now, I also don't think that some of the aggressive language that Trump has had on immigrants, on the tariffs, on all of that stuff, that it is going to be implemented straight away. I do truly think last time it took him half a year to give his tax breaks. It took him a little while to implement some of his other strategy. And I truly think that it's a negotiation tactic. But I 100% agree and believe that we're going to have inflation. Trump, as far as from the real estate perspective, Trump is going to make real estate a little bit more appealing. So what is Trump looking to do? Trump wants to stimulate real estate by getting permits much easier. In one of his speeches, I believe it was in New York, but I can be wrong of the location. But in one of his speeches, he literally said, "I want affordable housing next to your house," meaning he wants to make sure that it becomes easier to build. He wants to have higher density. So he wants to have more houses in the same location, and he wants to have more affordable housing. On the affordable housing side, that can be very attractive for us. He is looking to give people that do affordable housing or allow for affordable housing or are building affordable housing, he's looking to give a lot of tax credits for affordable housing. So might be something you look into. Then on the other end, again, he's going to make building and getting permits for your flip and for your build, he's going to make that much easier. So he really wants to stimulate people to build and to create more properties and to stimulate people like that. He's also going to stimulate the American people by giving them less income. So they're going to be paying less income taxes, and they're going to compare that or going to offset that with the tariffs that they're going to charge on the goods that are coming into our country from from overseas. So to wrap it up, again, I believe there's going to be inflation. Trump is going to want to do more housing. He's going to do that through making building easier, more affordable housing. So he wants to know, or he wants to see more affordable housing. What you can see is that the density in, for example, cities like Raleigh and Durham, you can see that there will be zoning updates, that you can build more houses, you can do an ADU or even more. And Trump is going to give us income tax breaks, which really stimulates the entire economy. With the entire economy being stimulated, people have more money, and I'm saying more money like this because there is going to be a tax break. So people think they have more money, and they're going to be spending more money. So what I've been doing since August is I have been all in on real estate. Like I spent my savings, I spent everything. I'm going into building. I truly think that we're going to have inflation, and therefore I want to have my dollars into hard assets. I want to have my dollars into real estate, because if you have inflation, that means that your dollar is worth less if you keep it in the bank, or if you keep it under your couch, or if you keep it in the bed. The dollar becomes worth less. So what is the best thing to do to prepare yourself for inflation is to buy hard assets. And now that asset, because the dollar becomes worth less, that asset becomes worth more.